articulated by the mayor. Needs such as housing, needs such as the water tower, needs such as rebuilding issues, whether it be along the harbor or downtown, and of course debris removal. We have a need for speed. We want to make sure that we help the entire region get cleaned up and rebuilt as quickly as possible. We're here to learn what needs to be done and what we can respond to quickly so we can help this entire region rebuild quickly.
Governor,
Questions?
how will you help, most importantly, with the housing and employment issues across the coastal area?
Sure. On housing, we have with us from the General Land Office officials who are in charge of the housing-based needs, and a discussion was had to make sure the housing needs are going to be taken care of. There's temporary housing, which will include some manufactured homes. We talked about strategies for getting those in as quickly as possible. Part of it's going to require removing the current dilapidated homes, and in some instances we need to learn who the private owners are, get permission to move them, so we can put the new ones in. Bottom line is we're leaving here today with strategies to make sure we address those needs.
Can you express some of those strategies, or enlighten us in some of those strategies?
Sure. Well, the strategy is we need to find out who the homeowner is, get their permission to move their home, and then we already have the homes ready to move into there. If we don't get the permission from the homeowner to move the home and move the new home in there, we have other locations where we can move the temporary housing to.
Let's talk about the employment then. I think I saw a number last week, about 33,000. I'm throwing that number out there. People who out of work or businesses losing employment. How do we recover from that?
Sure. Two strategies we talked about today to address that. For one, there are some employees whose employers' businesses have been mowed down and don't have any opportunity to reopen anytime soon. There is a grant program available that the state of Texas already has funding for, that we offered up to the city, that the city can use to provide funding to give these people a full-time job so they can be receiving a paycheck while they're waiting for their businesses that they used to work for to reopen. For the businesses, the employers, we provided information how they can access SBA loans to get them up and running again, which is the usual pathway that's taken in the aftermath of a disaster like this.
And recovery, getting those businesses back up and running, people getting back into their homes, those are all things that get things going again in a city, right?
No, we want these businesses up and running as quickly as possible because we want people employed, we want the sense of normalcy, we want the open businesses to be provided the revenue that the city needs to pay its bills, which includes things like sales taxes. And so this is a win-win situation for everyone the quicker we get things going, which is why I say there is a need for speed.
One more question.
So what about people who maybe are applying for FEMA and for whatever reason not receiving funds? What is the state doing in order to help them get those dollars they need in order to get their lives, back to, like you said, normal?
We try to stay on top of everyone who is applying for FEMA, making sure they are getting it. Sometimes we have found that people applied for FEMA before the disaster declaration was made and they failed to reapply. There's certain other reasons why people may not have received their FEMA qualification. We want to work with everyone who is eligible for FEMA funding, make sure they get it as quickly as possible.
Great, thank you all.
Is there an ETA, Governor, or would you like to set an ETA on